Hi, friends. Today I want to talk to you about taking the pressure off. Taking the pressure off of yourself to create in this programmatic, robotic, hustle culture sort of way. And I'm sure you've heard conversations about hustle culture and not hustle culture. And just the word of today, the message of today is take the pressure off. Take the pressure off of what it is that you're doing so that you can allow the flow of creative energy to move through you. When we have inspired ideas and we want to put them through, and all of a sudden our inner critic comes in and says, no, 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 and we have all of this battle in our internal dialogue that stops us, we're putting usually too much pressure on ourselves. We're putting way too much pressure on the thing that we're creating, even if it is something of value and importance, and there's deadlines and there's transactions that have occurred. We have to take the pressure off because we're not going to get to that creative sweet spot if we're constantly in pressure trying to create. Some people love to use this, and there's a time and a place when you can hone in on that type of energy at the final moment to actually increase your pressure. But overall, if you're feeling blocked or stuck and you don't feel like you can move through, there's usually some type of pressure that's bottled up. So what I would suggest is that you do something off on the side that is completely different, that is completely non-judgmental, and you can allow yourself to express whatever emotion's coming through. If you're frustrated in your project and you need a moment, right? This is really great. Doodle on the side, write, draw. If you need physical exertion to go for a walk, go exercise, go move the body to do something, but take that pressure that you're feeling and take it off the table, because that is going to be the easiest, fastest way to block you and block your creativity. When we put all of these unnecessary expectations on ourselves, these voices in our head are just adding to and stacking to these heavy weights that we're carrying, when really we should be in the most lightest, easiest stage possible. Now, when you're creating and you're trying to solve a problem, there's always going to be these levels of pain points and these dips that happen where you have to struggle, and there's challenges that you have to face and you have to be open-minded with. Same idea. We still have to take the pressure off. We still have to allow the mind to rest, to go and look for solutions in other places. And if we are too much in pressure mode, which I have to remind myself as well, this happens all the time, we have to take it off. We have to take it off the table and just actually not really care. Don't care about what it is that you're doing, which here's the caveat. Of course, you care about what you're doing, but you take off the pressure to just allow the results to happen. I have 25 plus years as a brand designer, digital designer, and I have worked with Fortune 500 companies for a long time. So I understand what it feels like to have pressure to perform. And the creative was always lackluster. I always had to struggle even more to get something out because I put too much pressure on my shoulders, wanting to be perfect, wanting it to be these, really great things, having these big expectations about what this creative is what it should look like, what it's supposed to look like, instead of just allowing the creative to come through. And this happens in anything that we're doing, or we get the big idea, or we want to have this happen. And then there's all this pressure that we put on ourselves to create it or to be exactly like it's going to be. And when that happens, and this is the alchemy of knowing just when to apply the right amount of pressure and to help yourself move forward, as well as taking off the pressure so that you can allow it to breathe, right? If it's too much pressure, we're going to buckle under it if we're not used to that kind of pressure. So we want to take that off of our shoulders. We want to be able to open up. We want to be able to let new ideas flow through. So you have that initial idea, you get that really creative spark, you want to go forward with something. And then all of a sudden it's like this conversation comes in your head. What are they going to think? Who's going to say this? What is that person from high school going to think? What are all these things that are going to happen? And we just get caught up in the mind, and we need to drop this back into our body, back into the heart center, which is like the most primal organ. It's the first organ that's built in the womb. It's the pump that pumps the blood in the body. And we want to align with our desires and how we feel and allow for that to move us forward. And if we don't feel like there's anything coming, then that means we have to open up even wider our perspective, our energy, our relaxation, relax the body, and allow for the next wave to come through, the next wave of inspiration, the next wave of thought that is going to allow us to move forward. But if we're putting too much pressure on ourselves and what it is that we're trying to do, we're not going to create the magic that we love. So think about that next time you're racing against a deadline, trying to get something out the door. I know what it feels like, but I also know that some of the best ideas I had, and it took me years and years and years and years and years to learn this, that to go play for a little bit, to go allow for life to happen and come back to the work yielded much better results, yielded much more creativity than me looking at something and spending way too much time dedicated to it, thinking that as long as my hands are on the keyboard, as long as I'm pushing pixels or doing something, that it's going to stack up and result. And that's not always the case. A lot of times we just have busy work and it makes us feel like we're actually doing something when we're not. And it's because we've put this invisible pressure on our shoulders to perform in a way that really, if you just went through the motions of doing the thing, you will perform better than if you were overthinking it. So take the pressure off, allow for creativity to flow, find outside projects to play with, to just let whatever emotion is going to come out. Let whatever you need to come out. And then you can come back to a neutral place and allow for the creativity to move for you, to move through you, to move in inspired action. And so you're always able to get there faster, get the results that you want, be the most creative you can possibly be, because you know when to apply pressure when it's the right time. Because sometimes that is a motivator, but if we're always in pressure mode, if we're in, which is almost like survival mode, scarcity mode, we're never going to get to that peak of creativity that we want to get to. So, message for today, it's time to take the pressure off, allow everything to flow, get into that sweet, childlike mind where everything is a possibility, anything is possible, solutions are just around the corner. Go have fun and engage in things that you love, and allow for the next wave of creativity to come through. Stay consistent, stay disciplined. We're practical in what we're doing, but we also need to have that magic come through and that essence of creativity, that essence of connection to source, that essence of co-creating and spirituality with our creative work. Because what you're coming out of, what you're bringing out of your mind, what you're coming out of inspiration is to bring something into magic into the world, and to bring it into form, to bring that magic into material, to bring that essence of you out into the world. And we cut ourselves and we think that we're doing a noble job and we're being humble and we have all these other reasons why we're doing it for someone else, or we're shifting our time and we don't want to take the time to play. We don't want to take the time to explore and have fun and allow for creativity to keep flowing through. You can be inspired every single day. Every single day, you can find inspiration if you just know how to open yourself up and look for it. And it's not going to be with applied pressure. So take the pressure off. This is the message. This is what you want to walk away from. Take the pressure off on whatever you're doing. Focus in on just doing the best possible job. Be fully present in the moment. And you're great. And it will be whatever it's going to be, because whatever you produce is going to be exactly what is needed. And use these mantras. I'm creating exactly what is needed to put out into the world. I am creating what is needed for this client, for this project, for this piece in my life that I want to build. And everything will come out the way it is, and allow the pressure to release itself so that you can flow even more into present moment, into present moment, into flowing into present moment. Thank you all for being here. I love you all. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.